Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Today I am doing a little come book shopping with me. As you will have seen from the title, we are going shopping for my fall TBR. I'm so excited, guys. It's the 2nd of September. I've had my first pumpkin spice latte of the season already, and today I just kind of like wanted to go to Barnes & Noble and have a look at like autumnal books. I'm in like a melancholy girl autumn. I'm wanting fantasy girl autumn. Like that's kind of what I'm feeling for this upcoming season, and maybe some little spooky reads as well. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more refined with my budget than I was last time, because I did overspend last time, but I also do have $5 off thanks to my Barnes card. So but the weather looks terrible today. It's the first day of the Labor Day weekend, and like literally it's like gloomy AF outside. I'd show you, I was actually just about to show you the view and then realized that that would show you guys where I live, which probably isn't a good idea. That's the plan. So let's go buy some autumnal books, drink some coffee, and then come back and do a little haul, show you guys what I got. Okay guys, I'm back from Barnes. We all know that I have zero self-control the second I step inside that store, so we really shouldn't be surprised at the fact that I just picked up like another 10-ish books. It's fine, right? Like it's fine. Anyway, okay, so I'm just gonna like run through the books that I got today, because yeah, there are a lot and I'm really excited about all of them, and like 90% of these have been on my TBR list for ages, and I've actually purchased 2 rereads as well, because both of them one I wanted to own in physical copy, and the other one my auntie actually lost my physical copy of the book, so I wanted to repurchase it because I've been really wanting to reread it, but it's one of those where I like to read it like physically, not digitally. So the first book that I got is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, which obviously is kind of like viral everywhere at the moment, and everyone is saying this is a 5-star read, so I'm really excited. So I believe this book is about 2 journalists who are rivals at a newspaper and are writing to each other anonymously, and somehow or somewhere or why the gods get involved. The gods are currently like warring, and yeah, I'm not entirely sure like how everything's interwoven, but it says here no god, no creature, and no war can come between them. And yeah, I've heard like incredible things about this. Everyone's raving about it and saying it's 5 stars, so I immediately wanted to pick it up and see what I thought, and I'm hoping that it lives up to expectations, because I've been waiting to find that book for ages. I need to go and turn my air off. Okay, so the next book is Just Kids by Patti Smith. I love this book so much. This is about Patti Smith. Obviously, it's her journey to New York, her kind of time finding herself in the city, establishing herself amongst the art community, and it's also about her relationship with Robert Mapplethorpe as well. And this was a very like transformative read for me. It was just incredible, and I'm so pleased to have a physical copy of it again. This one's got deckled edges as well, which is really cute, and I can't wait to delve back into this. I'm in kind of like my melancholy girl fall moment right now, so that is why I decided to purchase that book, because I'm feeling like I need to read some melancholy girl moment, you know. Then we have The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I feel like I basically have picked this up purely because Bella from Throne of Pages like loves this so much, and I trust her recommendations. I've been wanting to get into another chunky old classic, and I just really like kind of the revenge trope which underlies this entire novel. I'm really excited to see like how like unhinged it gets, and yeah, I'm just really excited by this. I don't know when I will get to that logically, because university's starting back up for me next week, so I know I'm gonna have a lot of reading that I have to do for university, but we'll see. So then this one is kind of a random purchase for me, but I actually saw somebody mention it on YouTube the other day, and I feel awful, I can't remember whose channel it was, but they said that this is quite a surprising read for them and one that they really love, but they weren't expecting to. So when I saw it, I went today obviously with the mindset of getting full books, so I was thinking like fantasy, I was thinking like dark academia, unhinged women, like that kind of vibe. So far obviously we've gone for like revenge classic, we've gone for fantasy, and we've gone for kind of like melancholy like vibes with Just Kids. This massively feeds into the fantasy again. This one is A Broken Blade by Melissa Blair, which is book 1 of the Halfling saga. I know literally nothing about this, only that it is an assassin and she has to like venture into the realm of the Fae. So obviously it's a Fae fantasy, and with it being called the Halfling Saga, I'm imagining she's going to find out some interesting things about her birthright or her heritage. I'm assuming she's basically going to find out that she's half Fae. This is kind of giving like Throne of Glass, like the first book in the Throne of Glass series, with the assassin vibe and the Fae and everything else, but I'm like, I don't know, is it going to be as good as Throne of Glass? Probably not. Is it going to follow the same blueprint that Sarah J Maas wrote? Yes, most likely. Am I going to eat it up and love it? Probably yes. I don't know how many books are in the saga so far. There was like the first 2 in Barnes today, but I decided to exercise a degree of self-restraint and just buy the first 1, so that's what I've done. Then we have another 5 books. Good God. So I bought 9 books today. I need my access to Barnes & Noble revoking like immediately, because this is not sustainable in any way, shape or form. So the next book is another reread for me. This is one that I just really wanted to own physically and really wanted to read again now that I'm in a different place from when I read it the first time, and that is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This is like loosely based upon Lolita, and it is a very hard read. This is about a woman who was kind of groomed by her professor when she was younger, and then it all kind of like comes out in the press and comes to light later on, but she's still got like a very difficult relationship with the guy, because it didn't just like end and she didn't cut him off. She still speaks to him, she still has like, he still has a presence in her life. So it's her kind of coming to terms with what happened and like learning to see her attacker, her abuser, for what he actually is. It's a very dark, very hard read. And yeah, I read it the first time I think on my Kindle, and I was actually going through a breakup at the time of reading it, and it was just a very emotional, weird time for me to be reading something like this. I think I vlogged a lot of my reading back then on that like week on my old channel, so I'll try and like link that video. You guys may or may not want to see it, I don't know. But that was a hard time of my life and a really weird time to read that book. So I'm wanting to read it again now, just going into winter, fall, and being in like a very positive, happy mindset compared to where I was then. That was like November 2020, like October, November 2020, and now we're like 3 years later and my life is completely unrecognizable from where it was then. And the craziest thing is, if you had told that girl reading My Dark Vanessa then where she would be 3 years later, she would not believe you at all. So I love that for me. Then we had like one that I just stumbled upon, and the cover is what grips me, but the synopsis just, it sounds incredible. So this is Ripe by Sarah Rose Etter. Can we just take a minute for this cover, please? Like, how amazing. I haven't heard anything about this book until I saw it in Barnes today. So Carmen Maria Machado has blurbed it saying, a knife to the heart. We have Samantha Irby saying this book wrecked me. Kristen Arnett says it's astoundingly bold, terrifically haunting, and deeply human. Hallie Butler has said that Ripe has the most exquisitely described dread I've read in ages. Totally haunting and propulsive. So, I mean, yes. I don't know if this is going to give Unhinged Woman, but I'm going to read you the synopsis for it as well, just in case, you know, you want to like add it to your TBR. So this is a year into her dream job at a cutthroat Silicon Valley startup. Cassie finds herself trapped in a corporate nightmare. Between the long hours, toxic bosses, and unethical projects, she also struggles to reconcile the glittering promise of a city where obscene wealth lives alongside abject poverty and suffering. Ivy League grads complain about the snack selection from a conference room with a view of unhoused people bathing in the bay. Startup burnouts leap into the paths of commuter trains, and men literally set themselves on fire in the streets. Though isolated, Cassie is never alone. From her earliest memory, a miniature black hole has been a constant companion. It feeds on her depression and anxiety, growing or shrinking in relation to her distress. The black hole watches, but it also waits. Its relentless pull draws Cassie ever closer as the world around her unravels. When she ends up unexpectedly pregnant at the same time her CEO's demands cross into illegal territory, Cassie must decide whether the tempting fruits of Silicon Valley are really worth it. Sharp but vulnerable, unsettling yet darkly comic, Ripe portrays one millennial woman's journey through our late capitalist hellscape and offers a brilliantly incisive look at the absurdities of modern life. And like, it sounds amazing. Like, I literally started reading the first page in the cafe, and just the depiction of like commuters on the first page, it just reminds me so vividly of working in, like, I was working in a marketing role, but within financial industries in London, and just doing that commute every day and just seeing everybody just being beaten down and miserable and just utterly over what they're doing, but still buying into it because you have to. Like, I feel like I massively relate to just the first page of this book. Anyway, I'm excited to delve into it and read more, and I feel like this is definitely giving Unhinged Woman. Or I hope it is anyway, from the synopsis, which is one of the main kind of themes that I was looking for today, and I feel like I actually didn't do that well, but anyway. Then I went for In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. So this obviously does not give Unhinged Woman, although I feel like the cover is giving fall a little bit with the colours. But I went for this one purely because I read Love Like Farms in December and loved it. It was one of my favourite Christmas reads, and I'm actually going to reread it when I go home for Christmas this year because I loved it so much. So this basically is a companion novel to Love Like Farms, and it is two of the other characters. It's Evelyn St. James and Beckett, who, if you've read Love Like Farms, you will recognise. And this is their story, and I'm really excited. Like, I really loved Love Like Farms. It was so well written and just so like cozy and vibey, so I'm hoping that that's gonna give me the same. Then I finally picked up Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I have been wanting to read this book for so long. I have picked this book up so many times and then just not committed. So today I was like, I'm gonna commit to it. I'm just gonna do it because everyone says it's great, and I've been in the mood for fantasy, and I know this is definitely fantasy, so it's here. I'm gonna read it. I'm so excited. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but I'm gonna get to it. I think this is like a heist novel. A formidable outlaw family that claims to be the first among nations, a son destined to lead, thrust suddenly into power. Three fierce young women of the rattan, the Queen's premier guard, a legendary street thief leading a mission determined to prove herself, a dark secret that is a threat to the entire continent. When outlaw leader meets reformed thief, a cat and mouse game of false moves ensues, bringing them intimately together in a battle that may cost them their lives and their hearts. There you go. So it's kind of giving like Six of Crows a little bit, maybe. And then finally I picked up Did You Hear About Kitty Carr by Crystal Smith Paul. So this is basically very similar, I believe, to The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo in terms of like themes and writing style, and I love The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It's actually been blurbed by Taylor Jenkins Reid, who said that Did You Hear About Kitty Carr is an intoxicating and seductive debut, drawing you into an underground Hollywood world that is as glamorous as it is dangerous. Kitty Carr is an iconoclastic, complicated and fascinating woman whose legacy is as relevant as ever today. Crystal Smith Paul is a thrilling new voice in fiction, and I cannot wait to see what she does next. But this is about a woman who she's a Hollywood icon, very similar to Evelyn Hugo, but she's white, not Hispanic. And when she dies, she bequeaths her multi-million-dollar estate to the St. John sisters, who are three young, wealthy black women. And obviously that prompts like a lot of questions, like why is she leaving her estate to, you know, people that she's not related to? And one of the sisters starts to do a bit of digging and uncovers a lot of historic links between their families and debts that need to be paid, reparations, etc. I'm very excited to read this. I believe it has a lot of like reference to the American South in it, which I'm going to find fascinating because that is a topic that I do find fascinating and want to learn more about. And I'm just really stoked to read something similar to Evelyn Hugo in terms of like writing style and themes and like the old Hollywood vibes, because I really love that book, as you guys will know, because it is one of my favorites. That is another excessive book haul, and come shopping with me. I really need to cut myself off now and not buy more books for some time, because I do really need to, you know, prioritize finishing my apartment. So I'm gonna try and go on a book buying ban. I've said this a million times before and it never works, but I'm gonna try and hopefully succeed and read some of the TBR that I have here, because I'm already amassing a lot of books and I don't want to get into the same kind of pattern as I did back home, where I have like 150 books that I haven't read and I'm still buying more and more. So that's where we're at. Okay guys, so that is it from this video for me. Let me know in the comments what you guys are reading for fall. I'm gonna do like a proper fall TBR very soon with my like reading list, because I have some books that I already own that I'm gonna be putting on that as well. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. Certainly let me know in the comments what you're reading for fall. I would love to hear your recommendations. If you enjoyed this video, as always, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye friends.